So my name is Richard, I'm a driving instructor since 2018 and I never thought I'd find myself learning to ride a motorbike in my 50s. I'm 53, but here we are. So what you see here is a pub called the Gate Hangswell. We've ridden out to it. It's a beautiful pub in Sizedon, Leicestershire. And up front riding is Rebecca. Now she's my fellow driving instructor at our drive school of motoring. I actually taught Rebecca to become a driving instructor a few years back and we quickly became brilliant friends. Now the great thing about Rebecca, she is spontaneous, she lives for today, and when she does her video she'll probably explain why that is. But she turned 30 and she decided to buy herself a bike course and passed, and that was in July 2024. So in terms of experience, Rebecca's a year ahead of me. She passed in July 2024. Though after she passed, she was a bit nervous of course, I followed her on her very first ride, following my car, and I filmed the ride, and I still think I got the footage somewhere. I'm not sure how and when the conversation went, but basically it ended up with me experiencing biking very shortly afterwards by means of being a pillion. So I bought some bike kit. I got a jacket, trousers, all good AA protection stuff and gloves. Rebecca had a spare helmet that fitted, so I borrowed that and I used my walking boots for protection. So I went out as a pillion, and that was that really. I was quite hooked by the sort of attachment to the road and sort of the danger feel of it really. Now we went out for a few rides over the next couple of months over summer, and very quickly I wanted more than just the back seat. Now in retrospect, if I knew just how unprepared you are as a new rider that's just recently passed via direct access, there is no way I would have got anywhere near that bike. But as the saying goes, ignorance is bliss. So it's now October, it's gone cold, and Rebecca's bike has gone into winter hibernation, and during that time I decided that I was going to do direct access the following year when it gets warmer, and I was going to get my own bike license. So in April 2025 I booked in with Cam Rider and started my training and booked the direct access course, which involved 5 lessons, which included the CBT, some lessons on the 125, then the 650, and then did my Mod 1 and the Mod 2. So the first lesson is the day course, and that's the CBT, that's your compulsory basic training. If you pass it, it means you can put an L plate on a 125 and you can get extra experience. Doesn't work like that with direct access because I don't own a bike at this stage. It was terrifying. When I first got it, going, what have I done? I had no balance. From being in the position of control, being a driving instructor, being on this 2-wheeled machine is terrifying. So the morning is kind of doing playground stuff, let's say off-road stuff, you know, cones and the stuff you'll be doing for your Mod 1 test. And in the afternoon, went out riding on the 125 around the streets of Corby. Yeah, with all fairness, Cam Rider were brilliant. Did the CBT, passed that, came back a couple of days later and did a full lesson on a 125. Then it was introduced to the 650, and then I did the Mod 1, which is the off-road manoeuvres at the Kettering test station. It's really weird when you know all the examiners, because that's my local test station. It's strange, boot on the other foot, as they say. Then the test got put back a couple of weeks for the Mod 2. I took advantage for an extra lesson, and then on the 30th of April passed my Mod 2. Now in that time, my next door neighbours had builders in. They built me a hardcore to put my bike on. I also bought a bike 3 weeks before I even passed, so I had so much pressure on passing that day, and I think I passed on a Tuesday and I was going out for a big ride on the Saturday. So luckily I passed, and then I turned up and bought my bike and thought, oh, what have I done? To say you feel unprepared having passed my Mod 2 is an understatement. It was terrifying. Now the bike I bought was a Honda CB650R. Just a great bike, 4 cylinders, perfect for starting off. It's got a lot of top end power, it moves, but it's you can still control the machine. It's a great starter bike, and I'll probably keep this for a couple of years. This is the bike I'm on now, by the way. It does move as well, and by coincidence Rebecca's got the same bike engine but hers has the fairings. It's the race version with drop handlebars. My back doesn't do drop handlebars. I'm 53, so I've got the slightly more upright position, the naked sports bike. What a cracking bike it is. Bought it with 1,800 miles, and when I'm doing this now, I've done about 1,600 miles in 5 weeks. So I've done solo rides to get my confidence up. I've gone out with Rebecca, who pushes me a little bit more, and also joined. Rebecca's got a biker gang, about 5 or 6 very experienced riders. Go with them and they push me, and the only way you get extra experience is by sort of going out with people better than you. You can see what they do, they give you tips, they give you advice. It's quite hard to self-learn, so it's really good you go out with people that are better than you and they sort of pass their knowledge down. Also as well, through TikTok, I was contacted by a Serbian police officer who's a bike rider. He's invited me out for a couple of sessions. He's been absolutely brilliant, really pushing me in a safe condition. I've become such a better rider compared to, you know, just about 6 weeks ago to now. I've got a long way to go. I've got an awful long way to go, but the learning curve is steep, and as long as you don't push yourself too beyond your comfort zone, that's when it becomes dangerous. So yes, push yourself, but learn within your limits is all I can say. I'm not in the position to give any advice. I've only been riding 5 minutes relatively. So a lot of people have asked me, especially my pupils, why have you taken up riding at your age? It's a tricky one. It's many reasons, I think. Freedom and adventure is, I think, the top one there. Motorcycling offers a unique sense of freedom, control, connection with the road. It's completely different from a car. It's full concentration, but it's also like reclaiming some spontaneity and excitement in life too. Now, to me, biking is also the ultimate in mindfulness. Riding a bike demands your full attention, and in a way, it sounds really a bit weird really, but it's a real form of meditation, a way to switch off from the noise of everyday life, your emails you got to do, the bills you got to pay. You're there now and now only, and if you're not, that's when it gets dangerous. The other thing that's amazing, which I didn't realise just how much it was the sense of community and camaraderie. And the biker community is a really welcoming one. Yeah, you get drawn to the social side of it, the ride outs, you know, go to pubs and meets and things like that, the ride outs, and even just a nod to a fellow rider as they go by. It's just a sense of connection with a really nice bunch of people. Now, I always like to be challenged and do personal growth. I always like to do something that money can't buy as such, a challenge I set myself. I did that when I became a radio presenter. Now, when I turned 40, I wanted to do something completely different. I suppose when I turned 50, I wanted to learn something new. And it's quite empowering. At age 53, I've taken on motorcycling, and just proves you can still learn, you can still grow as a person and push the boundaries a little bit. Now, the cliche and the piss take is always, oh, you're having a midlife crisis. That's what everyone says, and I think we'll call it a midlife recalibration, really. It's a chance to rediscover yourself and do something bold and exciting whilst you still can.